Kumusta? Magandang araw. Ako si Reymund. Hello everyone. Good day. I'm Reymund and welcome to my channel. Our lesson for today is all about our Tagalog or Filipino yes-no questions. A statement can be turned into a question, a yes or no question by raising the pitch at the end of the sentence. You may also use the word ba, but oftentimes, or the best thing that you can do is to add ba, because at times, if the pitch is not changed or not that changed enough, it might also, it might not sound that it's like a question or something. Okay, let us have the following affirmative yes or no questions sample sentences. Okay, the first one is may aso. That means there's a dog. An aso is a dog. May aso. And then to change it into a sentence, you can just change the pitch. So it just becomes may aso. May aso. There's a dog. May aso. But of course, the best thing that you can do is always to add the word ba to turn it into an affirmative yes-no question. So it becomes may aso ba? May aso ba? May aso? May aso? May aso ba? Ilonggo si Mar. Ilonggo si Mar. That means Mar is an Ilonggo or from Iloilo. A person from Iloilo is called an Ilonggo. Ilonggo si Mar. To change this into a question, it becomes Ilonggo si Mar. Just a change in pitch. Ilonggo si Mar. That means Mar is an Ilonggo. And the correct way to make it or to change it into an affirmative yes-no question is of course to use the word ba. So it becomes Ilonggo ba si Mar? Ilonggo ba si Mar? Is Mar an Ilonggo? Ilonggo si Mar? Ilonggo si Mar? Ilonggo ba si Mar? Sasama ka ba? Sasama ka ba? Are you coming? Sasama ka ba? And then to answer yes, let's say for example, you will be joining or you will be coming along, you would say, oo, sasama ako, or just the word oo is already okay. It already means yes. To make it more polite, instead of saying oo, you can just use the word opo. Opo, sasama ako. So that means yes, I will be coming along, but it's more polite than just saying oo. If you will not be coming along, if you will not be joining or something, you can say hindi. Hindi ako sasama. No, I won't be coming along. Sasama ka ba? Oo, sasama ako. Hindi, hindi ako sasama. Matutulog ka na ba? Matutulog ka na ba? Are you going to sleep? Matutulog ka na ba? And then to answer yes, you say oo or opo. But of course, if you want to answer it in a complete sentence, you can say oo, matutulog na ako, or opo, matutulog na ako. And then the other one is to say no. You can say hindi, hindi po ako matutulog. Hindi, hindi pa ako matutulog. And then the other one, hindi, hindi pa ako matutulog. So if it means you still don't want to sleep or if you're not yet sleeping, hindi, hindi pa ako matutulog. Matutulog ka na ba? Matutulog ka na ba? Oo, matutulog na ako. Or opo, matutulog na ako. Or hindi po, hindi pa ako matutulog. Nakakain ka na? Nakakain ka na? Or nakakain ka na ba? Have you eaten already? Nakakain ka na ba? To say yes, you can respond with oo, nakakain na ako. Or opo, nakakain na po ako. And then to say no, you respond with either just the word hindi or hindi po. Or if you want to answer that in a complete sentence, you can say, hindi po, hindi pa ako nakakain. Nakakain ka na ba? Oo, nakakain na ako. Or hindi po, hindi pa ako nakakain. Or you can just say opo or oo. Or you can just say hindi or hindi po. Amerikano ba si Paul? Amerikano ba si Paul? That means, is Paul an American? Amerikano ba si Paul? And then to answer yes, you can say oo or opo. To answer no, you can just say hindi or hindi po. And of course, to answer this question in a complete sentence, you can say oo, Amerikano siya, or opo, Amerikano siya. That's to answer yes. To answer no, you say or you respond with Hindi po, hindi siya Amerikano, or hindi, hindi siya Amerikano. Amerikano ba si Paul? Opo, Amerikano siya. Hindi, hindi po siya Amerikano. Hindi ka ba sasama? Hindi ka ba sasama? That means, aren't you coming along? Hindi ka ba sasama? And then to respond with, to say that you will be joining them, you just have to respond with sasama ako, because this is a negative yes or no question. So answering oo would be confusing for the person who's asking the question. So you'll just have to respond with sasama ako, which means I will be coming along. Sasama ako. And then to say no, you won't be coming along, you won't be joining them, you respond with hindi, hindi ako sasama. Hindi, hindi ako sasama. That means no, I won't be coming along. So let us go back to the question again. Hindi ka ba sasama? To say yes, sasama ako. To say no, hindi, hindi ako sasama. The next one is, hindi ka ba kukuha nito? Hindi ka ba kukuha nito? That means, aren't you having this or maybe one of this? Hindi ka ba kukuha nito? And then to say yes, you'll be having or you'll be taking some or one. You respond with kukuha ako. Kukuha ako or kukuha po ako. Kukuha po ako. That's to say yes. And then of course, to say no, you respond with hindi po, hindi ako kukuha. Hindi po, hindi ako kukuha. Hindi ka ba kukuha nito? Kukuha ako. Hindi, hindi ako kukuha. Hindi ka pa ba nakapunta sa Roxas? Hindi ka pa ba nakapunta sa Roxas? So Roxas is a city, is the seafood capital of the Philippines, which is located in Western Visayas or Region 6. So the question is, hindi ka pa ba nakapunta sa Roxas? Were you not able to go to Roxas City? Hindi ka pa ba nakapunta sa Roxas? And then to say that you were already able to visit Roxas City, you respond with, nakapunta na ako sa Roxas. Nakapunta na ako sa Roxas. That means I was able to visit Roxas already. When we say na, that's already. That means already nakapunta na ako sa Roxas. And then to say no, you respond with, hindi, hindi pa ako nakapunta sa Roxas. Hindi, hindi pa ako nakapunta sa Roxas City. Nakapunta ka na ba sa Roxas City? Nakapunta na ako sa Roxas City. Or just replying nakapunta na or nakapunta na ako. That means it's affirmative. And then to say no, hindi, hindi pa ako nakapunta. Yan. So, hindi ka pa ba nakapunta sa Roxas City? Nakapunta na ako sa Roxas City. Hindi, hindi pa ako nakapunta sa Roxas City. Hindi ba Amerikano si Paul? This is an example of a negative yes or no question. Hindi ba Amerikano si Paul? Is Paul not an American? Hindi ba Amerikano si Paul? And then to say or to answer that Paul is indeed an American, you say Amerikano siya. Siya is gender neutral, so it either means he or she. In English, Amerikano siya or siya ay Amerikano. And then to say no, to confirm that Paul is really or is definitely not an American, you respond with hindi or hindi po. Hindi, hindi siya Amerikano. That means no, he isn't American. Siya, he or she, like what I've mentioned. Hindi ba Amerikano si Paul? Amerikano siya or siya ay Amerikano. And then to say no, hindi, hindi siya Amerikano. Let us have the following words also. Of course, when you are answering yes or no questions, at times one of this would be the answer. So we have the words meron, marami, and wala. So when we say meron, that means there is, there are, or there was, or there were, one or some, and then has, have, had, or one or some. So meron, that means there is. When we say marami, there are, or there were many, there are many, there were many, or there is, or there was, or there are a lot of like the things. And then for wala, when we say wala, it means there is none there are none, or there was none, or there were none. Or if it's like at the end of the sentence, you can also say has none, have none, or had none. So let's just always be particular with these three words on the screen. For our Tagalog yes or no questions, you can say meron. Meron bang tinapay? Yan, may tinapay ba? Meron. May tinapay ba? Marami. May tinapay ba? Wala. So tinapay is bread. So let's always remember the words meron, there is, or has one, or has some, marami, there are, or has a lot of. And then when we say wala, there are none, or has none. Let us have another example. May kapatid ka ba? Do you have a sibling? May kapatid ka ba? To say as, to make it plural, you just add the word mga, so it becomes may mga kapatid ka ba? Do you have siblings? But here in our example, we have may kapatid ka ba? That means do you have a sibling? May kapatid ka ba? It's singular. To answer this question, may kapatid ka ba? You can either say meron, marami, or wala. But of course, you can answer it in a complete sentence. You can say meron akong kapatid, marami akong kapatid, or wala akong kapatid. So when we say meron, there is, I do have a sibling. Marami, that means I have lots of siblings. And then when we say wala, that means I have no sibling at all. May kapatid ka ba? Meron. Marami. Wala. Wala akong kapatid. May mangga ba? Is there mango? Or is there a mango? May mangga ba? May mangga ba? And then to answer in a more polite way, of course, you can add the word po to either meron, marami, or wala. So it becomes meron po, there is, marami po, there are lots of, wala po, there's none. Okay, may mangga ba? Merong mangga, or maraming mangga, or walang mangga. May pusa ka ba? Do you have a cat? May pusa ka ba? To answer, to confirm that of course you have a pusa, you respond with marami akong pusa, meron akong pusa, wala akong pusa. Meron akong pusa, I have a cat. Marami akong mga pusa, I have lots of cats. Mga pusa, cats. Wala akong pusa, that means I have no cat. Wala akong pusa. That's all for our lesson, which is about the Tagalog or the Filipino yes-no questions. I do hope you learned something new from this video, and please don't forget to click like and subscribe. Moreover, you might also want to watch the next video on the screen. Maraming salamat, paalam at ingat. Thank you very much, goodbye, and take care.